As storage systems grow, they need to be separated to store different data. And for this, the partitioning was invented. There are different partition schemes developed by different vendors like IBM, Apple, Microsoft, etc. In common PCs, the master, boot, record, MBR partitioning scheme widely used since the early 80s, imposed limitation for use of modern hardware. Major deficiency is the limited size of 32 bits for block addresses and related information. For hard disks with 512 bytes sector, the MBR partition table entries allow a maximum size of 2 terabytes. Also, the standard partitioning scheme only supports 4 primary partitions. And as the disk space increases, it will become necessary to implement such complex solutions as extended and logical partitions. In late 90s, Intel developed a new partition table format as part of what eventually became the unified extensible firmware interface, UEFI. As of 2010, the GUID partition table, GPT, from a subset of the UEFI specification. GPT uses 64 bits for logical block addresses, allowing a zettabyte disk size. Number of partitions depends the space allocated for the partition table. But by default, the GPT contains space to define 128 partitions. Different systems use different naming schemes for devices and partitions. Modern Linux, for example, has a special defsd files for SCSI or serial ATA devices with a naming scheme like this. The letter A stands for the first device on the bus, and the numbers are the partitions. We can also access disk devices by disk labels. BSD disk labels, which also used on many commercial Unixes, traditionally contain 8 entries for describing partitions. They are by convention labeled alphabetically from A to H. Some BSD variants have signs increased these to 16 partitions labeled from A to P. Also, by convention, A, B, and C in BSD have fixed meanings. A is the root partition, the volume from which the operating system is bootstrapped. B is the swap partition, and C overlaps all the other partitions and describes the entire disk. Its start and length are fixed on systems where the disk label coexists with another partitioning scheme, such as on PC hardware. Partition C may actually only extend to an area of disk allocated to the BSD operating system. And partition D is used to cover the whole physical disk. On Linux, MBR-related tools are fdisk. The most useful operations M, print this help menu, P, print the partition table, N, add a new partition, T, change a partition's system ID for the different types of partitions, for different file systems, or swapping area, or something like this. We have different types. D, delete of partition. Q, quit without saving changes. And finally, W, or write table to disk and exit. Also, we have CFdisk is the full-screen program text-based variant, user-friendly variant of fdisk. And sfdisk, non-interactive variant of fdisk. It's useful for scripting. Partition management program that support GPT is Parted. And also we have JParted as a graphical variant of Parted.